Hey, I'm Logan and welcome back to The Long Drive, friends. Today we are picking up right where we left off, which was, holy cow, there's a lot of barrels in this one. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen this many. Now, I know for a while there was a glitch, well, a bug, I guess, where if you loaded a building, saved, and then reloaded, it would duplicate everything, but I thought they had fixed that. But dang, that's a lot of barrels. Oh, and look at that, gas right off the bat. We looked at 2 barrels, and one of them has already had gas. Boom. Alright, so, oh no, we left that open. Alright, so we are picking up right where we left off, which was checking this place for gas. Oh, that was weird. We had managed, I think it was right at 50 kilometers last week. I was a little annoyed, was in a bit of a hurry for some reason. It's just driving me nuts. But we're back. We missed 2 weeks. We made one. This is 2 weeks in a row again. There's a barrel falling through the ground. Luckily, it's empty. But yes, we are back. We are checking for gas, and we're going to get back on the road. So I looked. We are at 4,722 kilometers. Guys, we are less than 300 kilometers from the end. We are so close. It's going to be great. I really just cannot wait. It's been such a long time coming. A lot has went into this, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Oh, another autosave. But let me tell you, I've really been enjoying it. It's been 2.5 years, something like that, off and on. But it has been so much fun. We're getting toward the end. 2-3 more weeks, maybe, depending on how quickly these episodes go. So it looks like there's a lot of oil in here, which is fine. We probably need to top off our oil jerry can anyway, because our engine is burning some oil. There's some more gasoline. So actually, we're just going to drop it right there. Oh, crap. I don't know which of these we've already checked. There's just so many of them right here that I'm having a hard time keeping track of what we've checked and what we haven't. I'm kind of rushing through too, simply because I do want to get back on the road. Being so close is a blessing and a curse. Just simply because we're so close, and all I want to do is just get on the road and knock out those couple hundred kilometers and say, boom, we made it. But at the same time, we don't want to risk like missing over stuff. Just oh no, oh holy crap. Oh, okay, I'm really glad we had rounds chambered. Jeez. Draw. Okay, that was not nice. But I do believe that is the game's way of saying that we have overstayed our welcome here. Because we did pull up last time, saved here, reloaded here, and now we've went through all of these. Okay, I did not like that. Alright, so oddly enough, we went through all of these, and we only found 2 that had gas in them. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to grab this one. I think I may have just drank a little bit of gasoline. We're going to take this guy, and we're going to plop him right there. We're going to take this guy, and we're going to plop him... Let's see. Alright, so I think we're going to take this guy. We're going to replace the one that was in Van Helsing. We're going to open this real quick, and we're just going to dump this little bit of fuel in. And then we're going to get out of here, and then we're going to do some cleanup, because we need to get out of here. There's too many bunnies. How are we doing on oil? Now we still got 4.2. I'm going to go. The amount of bunnies is getting too high for me to be comfortable with it. So we are going to scooch down the road a little ways. I have already reset the trip. So we're sitting at 0 kilometers. I think this one's in kilometers, not miles. Honestly, I don't remember. But we are at 4,722, 23 now, I guess. So we are going to boogie down the road, guys. Today I want to try to knock out somewhere around 100. This might end up being a little bit of a longer episode. just because we're going to stop and fiddle with the gas for a minute, and then we've spent a few minutes, about 4 or 5, just going through the shipping container. So this may end up being a little bit of a longer episode, but I do want to knock out those 100 kilometers and avoid this big rock in the process. Great. Okay. Whew. And see if we can knock out those 100. That'll get us up to 48.22. Another week at 100. That gets us to 49.22, which means in theory, if we can do that, this episode and 2 more, well, this episode, 1 more, and then the next episode should get us to the end of the road. Now, I can't guarantee that. We don't know where the end of the road is. It's usually around 5,000. Like I've said before, it might be more, it might be less. We might hit it next week, or in the next episode, whenever that is, hopefully next week. So, we really just don't know. But we're getting close. I'm guessing within a month at the latest we'll be there. But we got a full tank of gas. Our radiator has quite a bit of water in it. It doesn't use hardly any. A tenth every few hundred, if not 1,000 kilometers. So that's more than fine. We've got a spook house off to the side, which I do not care about. We're going to bypass that son of a gun. And then we are just going to boogie on down the road. We've already went about 5 kilometers. So yeah, I think we're doing okay. I think we are doing okay. Our side mirror's a little out of whack. Let's see, we're probably going to stop sooner rather than later, because we are hungry. We're going to potty while we drive, which I definitely do not recommend. And we're going to fix this mirror really quick while trying to pay attention. Okay, I want just a smidge of the van. There we go. So I know exactly what we're looking at. We still are missing a headlight over there. I think it's on that side. Yeah, passenger side. We're missing our rear view mirror. We're missing a side mirror. But other than that, Van Helsing is in great shape. We've still got Sophia hanging off the edge there. So yeah, we're doing good. We are doing good, my friends. So, we've got a lot of speed. We're just going to cruise. Like I said, we want to stop and deal with the gas situation at some point. Probably just to top off the tank and combine those 2 barrels into one. I would say we have definitely got enough gas now to get us to the end. I don't think that's going to be a concern at all. We've already done 1,200 miles in Van Helsing, which is insane to kind of think about. That means we've done over 20% of the game just in Van Helsing. That's crazy. But there's been quite a few episodes where we did do 100-kilometer stints, just boom, 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 boom. And we swapped out about the time this update came out, which was quite a few months ago. So it does make sense that we've done this many miles or kilometers, whatever, in Van Helsing. So there is a... Actually, you know what? We're going to stop. Oh, wait. That's not what I thought. So that's a garage. Tell you what, let's go ahead and stop here. This will be a nice place for us to fiddle with the gas, grab a bite to eat. We'll check inside for some water. And we'll kind of see what's going on. Let's see. Is there any zombies? I don't see any inside. I don't see any out back yet. There's an autosave. Come on, come on, come on. Come on. Okay, I think we're good. Let's open this, and yeah, we're good. Okay, so there's not much in here. There's a V8, there's a bumper, some spray, foot. Okay, nothing of use in here. A couple of gas oil mixes, some oil. Alright, well this was pretty much a wasted stop, honestly. Diesel, there's some food. Yeah, other than that, honestly, this is about a wasted stop. A little bit more oil. Nothing, so let's go ahead and grab this. So I kind of hoped for a second that this was a bunker, so we could refill our water. But it is in fact not a bunker. Alright, so we're going to grab this guy. Alright, how much do you have? You have 16.9, you have 28. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to open this, we're going to fill this up really quick. Should only take a second. Then we're going to transfer whatever's left in this drum to the other. That'll give us a full tank of gas, a 42-liter fuel tank on top of the van, and then we will have 28.7 plus basically 10. So that'll give us close to a full tank of gas just in this barrel. So we've got about 3 tanks of fuel, which should more than cover getting us to the end of the road. I don't remember exactly how much we were calculating a tank of gas was. I think it was somewhere around like, 200 kilometers, something like that. So we're not going to make it entirely there, but we will make it part of the way. Alright, so we ate that. So I think the next thing, let's see, I'm just going to open this door. I'm just going to drop that because it's getting dark. There's, oh, that other piece of bacon go? Did it fall? Yeah, there it is. Alright, so there's 2 big old slabs of bacon. Okay, we're just going to drop those into the van. Right now I don't care so much about how it looks back there. I want to get these poops out. Okay, we're safe. Let's go ahead and call it a night. That way we'll get a fresh start first thing in the morning when the sun comes up. Come on, sun. There you are. And we are off. Alright, so we're a little thirsty, but we had us a dinner. We're gonna have us a little bit of a poo. There we go. Alright, and back on the road at 6 a.m. We've done 10 kilometers, so we're a 10th of the way done for today. That'll get us, what I say, up to 48.22. Next week, assuming we do another 100, that'll be 49.22. And from there, it's somewhere around, I want to say 50 to 100 kilometers-ish. So I'll actually remind me and I'll make a note of exactly where we end next week. And then that way we can reset the odometer and we'll be able to see whereabouts the end of the road should be. Which is kind of funny, like sometimes like right here, it could just be right over that horizon and we wouldn't know it until we hit it. And then other times you can see in the distance, usually just because it's going downhill or uphill, that, hey, there's the end of the road. Alright, so we got a big tower up ahead. Don't see much else. Looks like we're starting to move downhill, which is good. Well, now we're curving this way. Starts to look like we were moving downhill, which is good because downhill obviously means speed. Speed means danger. So, yeah. One thing I'd like to see somebody do, I'm not going to do it. I do not have the patience at all. But one thing I'd really like to see out of somebody is, you know, a lot of people, they'll put like self-imposed rules. Like they can only sleep in a bed, or like maybe they only stop at outhouses or toilets to use the bathroom. They don't just poop in the seat like we do. So one thing I'd like to see somebody do is a speed limit rule, like proper driving rule, where you're limited to like 60, 75, whatever kilometers an hour. Maybe 100 would probably be good. I think that's somewhere around 70 miles an hour, I think. So something like that. So maybe like no more than 100. And, you know, if they're going uphill, they slow their speed or things like that. Have to stay in the correct lane. They can't just be all over the road like we do. No shortcuts through the deserts. Things like that. Actually stopping at gas stations to fill up unless they have a proper jerry can. Just things like that. Would be, oh shoot, there's a rock. Okay, we're good. Would be kind of neat. I don't know if anybody else would have the patience for it. I certainly don't. It'd get a little boring after a while, especially since this game doesn't have a cruise control. If they added a car that had cruise, I could definitely see it being more enjoyable. Just being able to get it up to 80, 90, 100, whatever. Press, you know, R to lock it in. And then all you gotta worry about is turning and maintaining your lane. Which, I mean, I would like that at any speed. Like right now, just max it out and set it on cruise so it always tries to maintain the highest possible speed. I think that'd be really nice. So I've been doing some looking because, like I mentioned last week, week 4, whenever, I've been playing Starfield. I've really enjoyed it. It's a Bethesda game, so like I said, if you like Bethesda games, you'll probably like Starfield. If you don't like Bethesda, you probably won't like it. But you look at the time between Fallout 4 and Starfield, and then you listen to like Todd Howard and someone like, oh, this has been in the works for like 10 years, 25 years, whatever. But you're looking probably at like 8 years, right? So in 8 years, they made this game, which a lot of people have, and I'm gonna agree with them, rightfully so, criticized for some very weird choices. Like, a lot of the quest lines feel unfinished. So, like, no spoilers, one of them you deal with a peacekeeping group, like police officers. And by the end, you get to become one, of course. And so, like, oh, I'm one of these police officers and I want to go do police things. But every time you go into one of the systems or the areas controlled by the people who you're a police officer for, they scan your ship for contraband and will fine you and arrest you, even though you're a cop. Like, there's no option for me, or you, obviously, to go out and say, I want to play as a cop and take down some bad guys and bring their stuff in and lock it up. You can't arrest bad guys. You can't do any of that. Nothing changes when you become a cop. But some ships have a brig. And you have EM weapons that don't kill people, they only stun them. So it's like, okay, if I can stun a bad guy and I have a brig on my ship, why do I not have the option to non-lethally subdue them, put them in the brig on my ship, and take them to jail to await trial? Why is my only option lethality? Things like that. You've got all these big, ambitious stories that it's almost like they just kind of had an idea and then ran out of time, so they came up with the most generic ending possible and said, oh, here you go, it's good enough, push it out the door. Especially when you look at them saying, oh yeah, we delayed the game by a whole year for polish. It's like, it's polished and this is what you came up with? Now, I've said before, I am not a game developer. All of my development is web. I've always been a web developer, was a web developer, never games. I'm sure it's an entirely different beast than web and database. I get that. But the fact to me that you spend 8 years on a game and that's how they push it out the door, when it just feels like it's missing so much. Now, of course, a lot of people have criticized Bethesda always, saying that Bethesda makes the framework and they say the modders will finish it, as opposed to like Rockstar, who push out amazing quality games and then hate on modders. Two completely different ways of looking at it. So, I don't know. Fun game, has its flaws, and it definitely seems like at some point something catastrophic happened in the development, and it's like they had to start over. It's like, imagine you're writing like a 10-page essay for school. You're writing your essay, you have the idea, you're 90% done, your computer dies, the essay's lost forever. Well, you had a general idea of what you were doing, and you can recreate a lot of it, but because all that work was lost, suddenly you're rushing to recreate 90% of your total project. So some of it's fit and finished and perfect, and some of it you're just slapping together from memory because you lost the whole thing. So maybe something similar happened. Maybe they had some crazy data failure in a data center, backups didn't kick in, bunches of stuff was lost, and all they had was rough outlines for stories, for story arcs, for quest lines, things like that. Who knows? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they really did spend 8 solid years building this game and are super proud of it, and don't understand the flaws that a lot of players are finding. Who knows? It's impossible to tell. They're never going to come out and say like, hey, yeah, like we hear your complaints. Yeah, that quest line could have been a lot better. Sorry. And then redo it. That just doesn't really happen. I mean, you do have something like No Man's Sky, which honestly was an unmitigated disaster. And they've communicated with the players and all this, and they've updated and changed and done all sorts of stuff to make the game better. And a lot of people love it now. I get that. I don't think Bethesda is that kind of studio. So I seriously doubt that's going to happen, especially when they're already talking about a DLC. And of course a lot of people are, oh, well maybe this kind of stuff will be fixed in a DLC. That's not what a DLC is. DLC is not fixing bugs and things like that. That's patches. DLC is just additional content. It's more quests, it's more items, it's new areas. I mean, it's not going to fix fundamental flaws in the game. Now, it might for a certain area, it might for a certain quest if the DLC ties into that, or for a character. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what the future holds, especially when they've said that they want Starfield to be supported as long as Skyrim. Skyrim came out in 2011. I mean, that was 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Well, it was November 11th of 11, so it's 2023. So 12 years ago. And we've not gotten a new Elder Scrolls. And we won't. They have stated publicly that they weren't even going to start on Elder Scrolls until Starfield was released. Now that Starfield's released, it's probably going to be another 5-6 years before we get a proper Elder Scrolls. If they take the same amount of time as they say they did on Starfield, that's 8 more years. That's 2023, that's 2031. So 20 years in between Elder Scrolls 5 and 6. I mean, that absolutely blows my mind. Like, some movies are getting away with it, like Maverick. Yeah, well, geez. Yeah, like Maverick came out like 25, 30 years ago, whatever. And they went and they made a sequel, and it was amazing. I don't know if video games have that kind of staying power. Because, I mean, think of it this way. That game, 20 years apart. Kid could have been a couple years old, watching his dad play Elder Scrolls. And then he's in college. He's out of college when the next one comes out. That is absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, imagine if, like Super Mario Brothers waited 20 years in between games. It just blows my mind that that's what they're doing, and they're okay with it. It's like the trailer for Grand Theft Auto was dropped, finally. It's been like, 10 years? Yeah, like this is the 10th anniversary of GTA 5. 10 years, and they're just dropping the trailer for the next installment, which is 2 years away. 12 years in between games. I just don't understand that. Especially when you look at from 99 to 2013, the entirety of Grand Theft Auto came out. That is literally every single game from the original Grand Theft Auto and that top-down perspective all the way up through Grand Theft Auto 5. And that's not just 5 games. That's GTA, GTA 2, 3, 4, 5, Vice City, San Andreas, Chinatown Wars, Vice City, Liberty City Stories, Ballad of Gay Tony, Lost and the Damned, Chinatown Wars. That might be it. But all of those, in just about the same amount of time it's taken them to make GTA 6 since GTA 5 came out. It's just staggering. Just mind-blowingly weird that that's the route they've chosen to take. But then again, the other part of that is, if you guys looked, it says coming 2025 for Xbox and PlayStation. No mention of the PC. Supposedly, PC will not be available at launch, and we'll probably have a year to 2 wait like we did with Red Dead Redemption 2. So, who knows when PC will actually get their hands on GTA 6. It might be 2027, 28, 2030, for all we know. It might be never. I doubt it. I doubt they're going to miss out on the massive PC market and people who want to play Grand Theft Auto. But then again, Rockstar has had serious issues with modders in GTA Online. They tried to kill the modding community, went over horribly. They've shut down a couple of the bigger mod menus, and so I'm sure that had some impact. But last few times I got on GTA Online in an open lobby, you could not get in there without seeing at least one modder per lobby. It's not always super obvious. You know, maybe they're minding their own business, but they're in God mode. And you only find out about it because they get blown up in front of you by another modder, and they don't die. Or you drive by and you hit them with your car, and nothing happens. You know, just things like that. And then, of course, there's the benevolent modders that come in and all they do is hang out and spawn in cool things for people and money and weapons, cool stuff like that. But the vast majority of modders that I've ever come across are the ones that make people hate modders in general. You know, they're the ones killing everybody and blaming it on somebody else. They're the ones that teleport to you and just blow you up immediately while being in God mode, so you can't touch them. I don't even understand that kind of behavior. I guess they just don't get enough hugs at home, or didn't get enough hugs as a kid. Or they get bullied at school, and so they think, hey, I'm going to go online and bully people because I'm in control there. Who knows? Like, it's bonkers, honestly. But I don't want to, especially considering that far down the road, the PS5 may very well be on its way out, and the PS6 incoming, because I think now the PS5 is already 4 years old, 3 years old, so that's going to make it 5 or 6 years old by the time GTA 6 comes out. Is it going to be worth buying a PS5 just for them to release a PS6 and an upgraded version of GTA 6 on the PlayStation 6? I mean, but then again, I'm just now, within the last 6-8 months, in my area seeing PlayStation 5s consistently on store shelves. Up until then, I never saw a single one. Until my buddy bought one, I honestly could not have told you that they were a real legitimate thing, because I had never seen one in person or in stores. The demos were not actually demos, they were just plastic shelves. Anytime you go to look online, they were sold out. You go to stores, they're sold out. So it's just now getting to the point that they actually have enough. Oh, there's a diner. They're gonna have water. But okay. Okay. Well, I guess we lost our headlight. That thing spawned in. We clipped it. Nothing else really happened, but we did lose our headlight. Oh, and we lost our mirror. Oh, I think we whacked the crap out of it. Okay, oh, jeez. Okay, so here's our mirror. Alright, let's put that back on. I don't just right now see any zombies. So there's a convertible Beetleborg on top. So I think we're going to grab our headlight and we're going to do a quick drive around of the diner. If it looks safe, we'll run in and we'll get some water. If not, we'll just continue on. not seeing anybody rushing toward us. Okay, it looks relatively safe. Alright, let's do a quick once around with our revolver. Okay, I think this diner actually does not have any zombies. Cool. Alright, so let's, okay. Got an ex-wife. Alright, yeah, I'm not seeing any zombies. There's a coffin, that's concerning. Okay, but I think we're good as far as that. Alright, so let's go. Alright, so we're hungry again. We're very thirsty. Very hungry. Let's grab a bite of this. There we go. We're gonna take this. Oh, fling it. Okay, we're just gonna carry it and drink while we walk. Because we want to do this as quick as possible, right? Right. So let's set our... Let's set our jerry can in here, which I don't know if we can actually fill this up since they changed the way this all works. Let's try it though. Nice, let's just fell in between the seams. Okay, let's open that. Let's twist that. So, autosave. Come on. Come on. Let's see. Okay, it's going in. Cool. So we'll crank up the speed. There we go. Alright, so we have this thing full of water. Let's get out of here. Okay, let's grab this. We're going to just do some drinking. It's not super important that it be 100% full, because I doubt we're going to need a refill before we get to the end. Okay, that's good enough. Let's close this. Let's check really quick for a headlight. Ooh, look here. Boom. Alright, so I'm not going to take the whole bog, so we don't particularly need it. Alright, let's, okay. Let's rush over here really fast. I just want to see if we can find a headlight real fast. I'm not seeing a headlight yet. Let's go. Check the Volkswagen. We'll check Beetleborg. Do you have one we can steal? Yes. Okay. And we're just going to throw that guy right in. So now we have both our headlights again. Let's open this. Let's grab this. Top off our engine oil. Oh, I thought we were going to. We ran out. Let's close. Let's... Dang nabbit. Dang it. I just want to close the engine oil so we don't lose it. There. Oh, I hear bunnies. Let's get out of here. Alright, so back on the road. Sheesh. Alright, so that was a convenient little stop. We got a couple more bullets for the revolver. We topped up our water. We ate a bite. We drank. We slept. We lost our headlight, but we got it back. Everything else seems copacetic. So yeah, I think we are good, guys. We still got our pupper hanging out with us. Alright. Well, this is cool. We are making progress. Things are happening. I am happy, and we've already went almost 60 kilometers, closer to 55, but we're making progress. Oh, yeah. Yes, 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 yes. So another interesting thing just about the whole gaming situation, right, is Fallout. We still haven't heard anything about Fallout 5. And again, they said we won't, because Elder Scrolls. Starfield, then Elder Scrolls, then Fallout. I think Todd Howard said he had like a one-page write-up of kind of what the direction for Fallout 5 would be, and that's it. Crazy. I've really gotten to enjoy Fallout. I had never played it until about a year and a half ago or whatever, and I found out I really actually enjoy the Fallout world, which I started with Skyrim, I had never played Elder Scrolls games. Never really seemed like my kind of game. I saw a buddy of mine in college playing Skyrim, and I said, man, that looks amazing. I went out and bought it, played the crap out of it for a while. I had it on the PlayStation 2 or 3, whichever one it was at the time, and oh no, spin out. Okay, we're good. And played the crap out of it, and it got to the point that my game was so bugged I couldn't play. The frame rate was at about 5. And so I said, well, I can't play this. It's utterly broken. So I guess I'll just set it aside and hope that a patch comes out. And eventually one did come out. And it was, of course, fix the game. And I was able to play, put so many hours into it. And it was one of the few games that I've really lost myself in. Not that I got super into like the universe, like immersed, but just that I would lose track of time because I was having so much fun playing the game. Hours would go by. Hours and hours and hours would go by just because I was having so much fun. I did not realize that it was 11, 12, 1 o'clock at night simply because I was playing Skyrim and having such a good time doing it. So just things like that really made it an amazing game for me. And then, so kind of like Fallout, I never really got that immersed in it, but I would still play 2-3 hours at a time and quite enjoy myself. Alright, we got a bit of a snake in the road, so it looks like the optimum route is to just kind of go straight here and hope for the best, because the road curves off to the right, back to the left, and then pretty much pokes its head up right in front of us. So we're going to cut a little bit, maybe a kilometer off right here, which I've said it before, and that's another reason it says like distance traveled at the start of this episode was 4722. We don't know what that actually translates to in road distance, because we've traveled off the road to explore or to look at things. We've cut distance off the road by doing things like this. So while it says 4722, we may really only be at 43. Or we could be closer to 49, because we've shaved a lot off. It's impossible for us to really tell. Alright, so here's where the road straightens back up. Here we go. There's a little gas station. Let's hope nothing spawns in. Oh, we should have just nailed that ramp. Full speed, just whoosh, full send. That would have been great. Oh, yes. So, of course, it's around the holidays. I've been trying to get into the Christmas spirit, been watching movies, been putting presents under the tree. Got a lot of stuff under the tree, between like stuff from my girlfriend, my parents, family, things like that. There's quite a bit of stuff under the tree. My girlfriend has already gotten like 5 or 6 things from me just because she knew what they were, and if she knows it, she has to have it. So a couple months ago, I know she'd been talking about she wanted a house robe. It was like one of those big, fluffy, cozy robes that you throw on in a cold morning and have a cup of coffee. She wanted one of those. So I found one, I picked it up for her, told her it was going to be a Christmas present. Well, but I know what it is. You might as well let me have it. So she got it. And then I got her like a nice new pair of shoes and a shirt. And she's like, well, I want to give you something. I'm like, okay. Well, but then I should get a present. So she ended up getting those. She was with me when I bought a pair of house shoes. So she got those. So I really had to buckle down and make sure that the rest of the stuff under the tree in her stocking, she doesn't actually know what it is. Because otherwise, she'd be saying, well, I know what it is. You should just let me have it. And I just can't do that anymore. She has to have something to open on Christmas Day. So yeah, are you guys Christmas Eve present people or Christmas Day present people? I know for me growing up, it was always interesting, and I've found apparently a lot of people kind of do it this way. So for me growing up, Christmas Eve was for extended family. So that's where we went to grandma's house. We saw grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, the whole big family thing, right? And then we'd come home, like we'd get presents from there, from the grandparents and everybody. Then we'd come back and we'd have all that to play with and whatnot. Well, then Christmas Day was much more calm and quiet, reflective kind of thing. It was always a stay in at home. Most of the time we'd go back to grandma's for breakfast, but then it was come home and do family stuff. So, you get up Christmas morning as a kid, you rush in, you open your presents, things like that. And that's what I did growing up. My cousin and I would always take our favorite thing that we got on Christmas morning back to grandma's house to show each other, to play with, whatever. And even now, as I've gotten older and an adult and all that jazz, I still pretty much do the same thing. Christmas Eve is still the extended family. Grandpa passed away a few weeks ago, so of course he won't be able to make it this year. But up until that point, like, it's always still been, we get together with grandma and grandpa, we have the family, the cousins, but now the cousins have kids. So they're kind of picking up the traditions of what we used to do. And then I still would go over to my parents on Christmas Day, or they'd come over to my place and cook dinner. We'd exchange presents between me and my parents, all that fun stuff. And so that's just kind of how it happens now. Same basic thing, but just, grown up, if you will. So yeah, like, let me know, are you guys Christmas Eve people? Are you Christmas Day people? Are you, we hate everything about it, so we never touch it? Or are you something else? A lot of people, they have extended families, they get older, they get married, have kids. So things start to change, maybe instead of getting everybody closer till, you do something on December 1st or December 20th. Something so that more people are able to make it, you can get more people in, especially those that have to travel. Because nobody wants to have to drive 2.5 hours to see somebody on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. That's just so much. It's so hectic. There's so many people on the roads. It's dangerous, whatever. Things like that. I know with my ex-wife, it was always, we kind of did, her family always liked to get together towards the middle of December and have their Christmas party. And then my family did their stuff on Christmas Eve. Me and her and my parents would do stuff on Christmas Day. So that's just kind of how that always worked out. Obviously it's different for everybody. So let me know what you guys do, how you guys do it. Maybe you're in a different part of the world where the holidays are celebrated completely differently. Lars, buddy, if you're back, what do you do in Norway? That'd be really cool to know and find out. Like how other people, how other cultures celebrate the holidays. You have places like things like Germany, Bavaria, those kind of areas. They have like the Krampus tradition. So really cool stuff out there with holidays and celebrations, traditions. So I always love learning about other people's cultures and how they do things. It's always fascinated me, and one thing I've always loved are people that want to share their cultures and traditions and things with you. So there's been like this push in recent years of like, oh, well, you can't do it if you're not a part of their culture. But I love when people want to share their culture, their language, their heritage, their history, and integrate that with other stuff. Like if I had a friend, I don't know, from Colombia, and they're like, man, we always do this really cool thing for this holiday. Like, come and join us and do it with us. I would love that. Being invited into somebody's cultural traditions, to me, is just such an honor, because they're sharing what makes their culture with you. And of course, a lot of the times that's food, but it's parties, it's traditions, it's the way they celebrate. And I absolutely love it when people say, like, here's the thing that we do and how we do it, come do it with us. Like, that just makes me feel so accepted and included, and I love it. I think it's just one of the best things about cultures getting together and exchanging how they do things. Now, that being said, one thing that's always kind of weirded me out, which is only tangentially related, is how cultures from thousands of miles apart, across oceans, who never met each other, who never had somebody from like a third party interact with both of them, have iconography, have designs, have imagery, whatever, that is so eerily similar. Like, they've shown designs from like ancient China, the Middle East, or Europe, and like Central Southern America, places like that, where they have icons, they have images, drawings, sculptures, whatever, that all depict almost the exact same thing. And it's like, these are cultures that never interacted, and we're not talking like basic stick people or the arch because it's strong and they just discovered, oh hey, arch is strong. But things that almost seem to appear alien, like this could be construed as a man in a spaceship with a helmet. And all these cultures, thousands and thousands of miles apart, who never met each other, all draw a very similar thing in a very similar way. It's a little creepy. I mean, I'm sure there's probably plausible explanations, but it's weird, right? Like, it's weird. It's kind of like, what was it? One of the Star Trek episodes. No, it was the second or third J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie. I think it was the second one, where the natives see the Enterprise come up from underwater and leave orbit, and they see the Starfleet crest, the emblem, and they incorporate that iconography into their culture immediately. And it's like Voyager, where that one planet spins super fast, and so, or they're trapped in like some time bubble thing where time down there moves a lot slower or faster than it does everywhere else. And they see Voyager pop up in their skies one day and sits there unmoved for millennia. And they've dedicated like space programs to trying to get up to Voyager to see what it is. Stuff like that. It's just like, what if something like that happened? Granted, I know logically that's probably not what happened. Aliens didn't come to Earth and visit all these ancient civilizations thousands and thousands of years ago. But it's always just kind of there like, but what if? What if something like that happened? All these cultures across the world have very similar, like Bigfoot or like vampires, for example. Dragons all across the world. And people are like, oh, well, they probably just discovered dinosaur bones and didn't know what they were, so they called them dragons. We didn't really know what dinosaurs were when George Washington was president. George Washington lived his whole life and died not knowing that dinosaurs existed, because we haven't found and classified dinosaur remains at that time. So, stuff like that. There's probably logical explanations for how cultures all across the world that evolved so independently from each other all have similar things in language and iconography, whatever. But it's kind of fun to just think about the what ifs. What if it was aliens? What if somebody did visit all of these cultures and made such a lasting impact that they made symbols and drawings of this event? But that's been lost to time. One thing people talk about is the uncanny valley with human faces. And it's like, we have this bizarre ability to look at human faces and to say something's just not quite right about it, and that it's different and off-putting because of that. And it's like, well, evolutionarily speaking, what happened in the past that made it such a valuable trait for humans to evolve and to adapt and for that person to breed and to have so many offspring, that they were so easily able to identify something so close to human but not quite. And of course, logically, they're like, well, sickness. If you can visually tell that somebody's sick because they're pale, they're clammy, they're sweaty, whatever, that makes it easier for us to avoid somebody who's sick, and that may be contagious. So yeah, logically it makes sense, but it's fun to kind of think about the what if. What if something was out there that so closely resembled humans that it was so advantageous for us to discern a real human from something that really looked close to us, but just not quite. Things like that, it's, whoa, bunny rabbit. It's just fun to think about. And man, I've rambled on about that for a long time. So long, in fact, we are about to hit 100 kilometers, guys. So I think this episode, we're probably going to be sitting right at about 50 minutes, so a little bit longer than I would like, but we are going to screech to a halt right here at 100 kilometers. That should put us at about 48:22, guys. So let's go ahead and, well, what time is it? It's 5 o'clock. We might as well let the sun come on up in an hour and a half. So I think, guys, we are going to call it here. But yes, we are going to, we really need to potty. Let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's go ahead and take care of that really quick before we call it a day. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Well, there's a lot of poo in the car. We need to get rid of some of these poos. Poo. 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 Alright, is that all the poos? I think that's all the poos. Alright, let's close the door. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I rambled about a lot of random stuff today, but we got a lot done in just under an hour. We made 100 kilometers. We got more gas. We got water, food. We explored a couple of places. So I think this is a perfect place to call it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I am Logan. This is The Long Drive, and I will catch you next time.